course. It's been a while. My name is the Queen of Luckett. I am a website strategist and designer. I am here because I have had so many people ask me so many questions, and I wanted to answer as many questions as I possibly could to kind of get this thing shuffling and going and chucking and jiving and all that good stuff. So the reason I'm here is I want to answer your questions. Any website questions you may have, I want you to certainly reach out to me. There is a link. You can book a call. We can kind of get the ball rolling, that kind of thing. Of course, I have my trusty with me. And, let me see if I can get focused. There we go. So I wanted to get some of these questions answered. People are like, what do I do? How do I start? Where do I start? What's the difference between? So because people are asking me so many dang questions, I said, you know what? I'm just going to hop on a live real quick. I don't know how quick this is going to be, but if you do have any questions about your website, comment below and I will get to them. If you are live, go ahead and try to comment and I'll try to get them answered right away. If you are not live, don't worry, just ask the question and I'll reach out to you and we can go ahead and get started. But if you have any questions about my services, who I am, let's start with that. It's the Queen of Luckett, web strategist and designer. I am a WordPress website designer. I love what I do. I've been doing this for about 10 years now, and well, actually probably a little over 10 years now. But when I started out, I was like everybody else. I had no freaking clue what I was doing. I hired a web designer to do some work for me, botched my website. I had to learn how to do it myself, created my own website, and the rest is kind of history. I guess it was kind of like the plan from the man above who told me this is what you should be doing, and I've always loved doing it. So this is where we're at. So my first question that people ask me all the time is, what is the difference between WordPress.com and WordPress.org? WordPress.com is a hosted website. It is free, but you also have a paid version of it. So WordPress.com kind of like has very limited things that you can do. You choose a template, you roll with that template, you upload your information on there, and you kind of just keep going with it. If it is hosted, of course, it's hosted through WordPress, and they kind of like give you this website for free. You have your own domain, but for the most part, it's very limited. So let's think about it like that. Then we have WordPress.org. WordPress.org is self-hosted. So what that means is you have your own domain, but you have to host. You have to get your hosting either through GoDaddy or Bluehost or One-in-One. These companies are hosting companies where you would purchase your hosting from them and you would host this thing yourself. So you can choose a template. They have free templates. They have premium templates, which are paid templates. But those are the difference between the two. Now, why do I love self-hosting? Because it is mine, so it would be yours. So your website is yours. You are not constrained in this little tiny box about what you can do with your website. Being self-hosted is kind of like my most favorite thing in the world, and I highly suggest it. So WordPress.com or .org. If you're already on .com and you have a hosted account and it's already paid for, I wouldn't say it's tough luck. It's just the fact that, you know, guess what? Having something that's already paid for, you really can't go back It's something you have to deal with. You pay for it for an entire year. Or you could say, screw it. I paid for it. I'm not going to bite the bullet. I'm going to move on, and now I'm going to self-host. You certainly have the opportunity to do that. So that is kind of like a big thing. So don't feel like you're stuck there because you have a WordPress.com website. If you want to, continue doing what you can do with it, and then jump and ship when you possibly can. It's all by the same people. WordPress.com, .org, it's all by the same people. The reason that they put out .org is so that we have the opportunity to like self-host our websites. So, moving on to question 2. What is a plugin and how do I use them? Plugins are freaking amazing, but sometimes you can have too many. So think about it like that. Well, what a plugin is, let's say you have something that you want to do on your website, such as you may want to like a simple pop-up, or where people can kind of opt in to whatever opt-in you have, or you want people to just be able to click a button, or I don't know if you've been to someone's website where you're trying to leave to go to that big red X and you get another pop-up that says please don't leave. Stuff like that. That's kind of like sort of a plugin that you can kind of add that will help enhance your website. So use those sparingly, I should say, because you really don't want to overload your website, but you also want it to have a certain functionality. Now, that's only if you don't have someone who can custom design your website for you the way you really, really like it, but you really need some certain functionalities, like an e-commerce shop. That's the word I was looking for. An e-commerce shop, something as simple as, adding on the WooCommerce plugin so that you can have that simple shop. And you can add your products and services and all that good stuff into it where people can buy from you. So you could use those as plugins, and they're kind of like a helpful enhancement to what you already have. How do you use them? I've already answered that as far as like how. So, asking how to create, how do you have a plugin and how do I use it? It's as simple as you just, dropping it in. And I will be happy to answer any of these other questions that you may have. It's like, how? I kind of like sometimes do like snippets of videos and kind of like teachable moments and send those out. So if you got any questions where I'm constantly getting those questions, I'll be happy to answer those for you at a later date. How do I add my email subscriptions? So an email subscription is kind of like WordPress, ConvertKit, MailChimp, stuff like that. So I know for a fact, because I use them all the time, ConvertKit has a plugin that I can just add to it, and then that way it'll make my life so much easier, where I could just add my email subscription boxes, my newsletter boxes on my website. Same for you. So you could add it as a plugin, which it's so ironic that we just got done talking about plugins and what they do. But with the plugin, with that plugin, you could certainly start adding like snippets of codes and things like that. Sometimes you have, you can pull, once you kind of created the things inside of your email company, from the provider, you could certainly take small snippets of code and you can just drop it into your WordPress website in your text area. So that's a question that I can certainly help you with. And sometimes it's easier for people to just walk through that process. I know we're on Facebook Live, and no, I can't share my screen right now, but if you guys really, really, really want me to, I'll be happy to do that and kind of walk you through the process. So there we go. this is a question that's not specifically to WordPress, but is an opt-in really important to my business and really important to my website? Yes, 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 1,002% yes. I don't know how I can stress this even more every time I do it, or every time I say it. An opt-in offer is very, very important to your business. First, it gets people into your email, to grow your email. It gets people into learning more about your services. So let's think about it like this. I'm on Facebook. I am also on Twitter, Instagram. You probably name it, social media, Pinterest. I'm on it, and I'm sure you guys are too. What if one day they decided to shut all of that shit down? Then what? At least when you have your email list, you kind of own it. You know, you have the opportunity to talk to your audience in that light. You may not always have Facebook available. You may not always have Instagram or Twitter. I mean, let's face it. MySpace years ago was like really popular, and it's no longer popular. Actually, it's gone. Think about that. So one great thing that you can have that is like tangible information in your hand is someone else's email address, or their phone number, or their address, or however you connect with your people. But the easiest, fastest way to connect with people with your phones constantly is via email, which is amazing. So I would say 1,000% yes. And an opt-in doesn't have to be all fancy smancy as people think that they should be. I mean, you could have a PDF, you could have an audio version of a topic that you talked about, like maybe a simple snippet podcast, or you can give a video, or, you know, a book. I mean, the sky's the limit. So think about those things as far as like, is it important? Yes, it brings people into your business, into your funnel, if you think about it. So that's always good. Where can I find free images? Oh, I get asked this question so often, every single day. I use Unsplash, Pixabay, Pixel, Pixel, P-E-X-E-L instead of P-I-X-E-L. And these are companies, well, these are all .coms, and you can go, and the amazing thing about it is that you can get free images. You can pull them down. You can add things together or put things on top of it. You know, the only thing you cannot do is say it's yours, you know, because it's not really yours. But the great benefit is that you can use these images on your blogs, on your websites, you know, anywhere that people use the imagery. And I think that it's amazing that, you know, these companies have come up with something like this, where people like you and me have taken tons of photos, and now we can upload them and use them for the general public, so that you can use them commercially or personally. So it's amazing. No, and just so you know, you can't just go online and just pull some images down and put them on your website. That's a big no-no. You can't do that. I promise you can't do that. Okay. How can I start a WordPress blog? For all my bloggers out there, a WordPress blog can be pretty simple. All you pretty much need is a domain. You need some WordPress hosting, and you can just download WordPress.org and literally get it all set up, and you can start blogging like within like the next hour. It's very simple to do. It's not difficult, but all I tell my people is to just start. Now, I do have clients that are custom clients that are like, I need someone to beautify my WordPress website. Can you please, 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 please help me? And I'm always here to help as best I can to get people up and going and rolling. So yes, a WordPress website can be simple as you just getting started and putting it together. And if you need help, you know, creating something fabulous to get you started, I'll be happy to help you with that. Like I said, there's a link. You can book a call with me and we will start the process rolling for you. Okay, so I have one last question, and why do you like using WordPress? Why do I, Sequina Luckett, like using WordPress? I can tell you why it's my favorite place to go. It's customizable. I think of websites as like the sky's the limit. We have different CMSs that we can use, such as Joomla and okay, I can't think of another one right now off the top of my head, but you can use all these different CMSs. But the reason I like using WordPress because it's the easiest to put together, and it's one of the things that I can use to customize to make your website the way you want it, and it's expandable. So let's think about it like this. When I started out with a blog, a simple ass blog, okay? I was writing something on that blog like every day, as much as I possibly could. So, and no, I no longer have that blog. I have a blog, but it's not an everyday event. I'm not writing in this blog every day. But the blogs that I had before, I could do whatever I wanted with those, and I could expound on it. So it went from just being a blog to a shop where people can come in and shop for products with me, to a place where people can find information about me. So I could create all of these little tiny pages, and I started being able to create landing pages. And like I said, when I started out just like you. I had no clue what I was doing. And 10 years later, teaching myself how to do this, you know, well, with the help of some of my peers, I know I can't do it all by myself, but I can certainly look up some code and I can read it and learn. And that's exactly what I did. And I know that every person out here may not be a techie, and that's okay. You don't have to be a techie in order to have a website that works for you and your business. So with your business, you have to always remember it's always growing. We're always pivoting. We're always trying to make sense of what is going on out here in the world. You know, everybody's a coach now. Everybody is this. Everybody is that. But, you know, is your website working for you? And those are the questions that I have to ask myself. Is my website really working for me? Should I revamp it? Do I need to go over it again? Or when I'm working with my clients, it's the same way. I think about, well, all the things that we can and cannot do with your website that's going to make money for you and your business. If you're not making $1 and your website's not helping, what the fuck do you have it for? That's the way I look at it. So if you have something like a website and you're paying for it on a monthly basis, it needs to be working for you. It should not have crickets on it. Seriously. You should have people coming to your website on a constant basis and at least opting in to what you have to offer. At least buying what you're selling. If you just have a website that's like crickets, trust and believe it's not working for you. And we need to figure out why. And that's where becoming a website strategist comes from. It's taken me the time to really figure out what it is that we're doing out here and how can I help you figure out where your business is and how can we scale it up. That's the whole point. So, as I said before, if you have any questions and you're offline, comment below. I'll be happy to answer any of your questions, even offline. So I'm happy with that. And another thing, click that link and get booked with me so that I can help you figure out what you need to do in your business and how we can get your website working for you and not you working for it. Because trust me, it can sit there and collect dust. And why would we want to have a website that's going to collect dust? Thank you guys so much for coming out. Woo! As always, I'm a very exciting person. A very excited person. So please, please, please don't forget to click the link. And I will see you guys soon.